Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the whole VTuber slash Twitch thing which has been going on, and this time it seems like Pipkin Pippa has actually been calling out this kind of stuff that has been going on, right? And this is all to do with one particular Twitch staff member who has been laid off from their job, and pretty much she made an entire video which got over 200,000 views, by the way, essentially talking about some of the issues that obviously their systems have caused, and especially caused to VTubers who have been affected by this. Now, this has been a very, very big problem for a while now. You've seen with many of the videos that I've covered that there has been a big problem with VTubers being banned, but not for like attire reasons or anything, which sometimes does happen, but more so for fraud. A lot of the time they do get banned for fraud for absolutely no reason, and again, they don't commit any kind of fraud or anything like that. It is just the reason that Twitch gives them every single time, and it began to get a little bit weird, right? And well, this obviously message came out from a staff member called Tafu, who is now protected, I'm guessing after this video came out, and they said, I was laid off of Twitch today. I was at Twitch for 11 years. I started off working in the trust and safety team, and then moving to customer experience. I was the person who built the entire fraud program at Twitch. One of the reasons I never told people what I did for work, I was one of the bad actors of Twitch who steal and abuse revenue on the platform. I guess I did my job too well since they let me go, but do I have some great stories of being there over a decade? Horrible timing since my motorcycle accident was a month ago. I am getting married in less than a month. This has definitely been a bad year. So yeah, obviously it seems like they were laid off. And yeah, it's pretty interesting because then Pippa goes on to talk about obviously the fact that, you know, he was laid off due to a lot of the Amazon kind of changes they're making. Apparently they've laid off over like 14,000 corporate jobs at Amazon due to like artificial intelligence and stuff taking over, right? Again, you can have your own opinion on that. And then obviously, yeah, they talk about the fact that, you know, they were laid off. And then they go on to the fraud program's kind of impact that this has had on a lot of VTubers, right? And they say, for example, VTubers like V3, sorry, and also members from FaZe Connect, which we've recently covered, including, I think, was it Rooney Ruse? And some other people as well were banned for fraud reasons, right? And this is all, you know, people that are within her VTube agency, within FaZe Connect, her kind of fellow members, right? And obviously, you know, there's no wonder that she's speaking out about this because they have been pretty heavily affected by it, right? And she also goes on to talk about the fact that other people from like the Socks VTuber agency too, we talked about that situation as well on this channel, they've all been banned for fraud. Now, obviously, they weren't permanently banned or anything, but, you know, obviously this is happening way too much for it to be just a coincidence, right? Because, again, you know, they're not actually committing any kind of malpractice. Like, sure, if it was like an attire reason, something like that, they actually genuinely broke the TOS, then that should, you know, that's totally fine. They should obviously face the repercussions for that. But obviously, this time, it is due to the fact of fraud, which they have not been doing at all. Obviously, they say that, you know, others on social media obviously criticized the fraud program as being terribly made, causing many streamers to be permanently and falsely banned. And obviously, she says she has zero sympathy for Tafu, stating that despite his claims they made good on false positives, it took her agency's members several years to get unbanned, calling his system bullshit. Now, I don't know if it's years. I think it was a couple of days, but I don't know if there's other kind of people that were also affected by this. But again, there's been many VTubers that have been affected by this kind of system that this one guy got set up, and now it seems like he is fired. Which obviously is great because, again, it has had a big effect. Now, I don't know if that was anything to do with it or whether it was literally just because of the layoffs and that they were just looking for people to get rid of, and maybe they just didn't really think he was like that useful anymore, right? And that probably was the case. I don't think he did get fired for creating a terrible system, but it still has an effect on people to this day, right? I don't know how long ago he made this system, but it has been affecting tons of VTubers literally in the past couple of weeks and months, and has been affecting VTubers for a very, very long time. And it's starting to get to the point where people are fed up of Twitch, and yeah, this is starting to get very, very annoying for a lot of people. And there's been a lot of support behind Pipkin Pippa's kind of post here, and rightfully so. You know, she's totally correct in everything that she's saying here. Obviously, you've got people like this, Love Miller, and so many more other VTubers as well, saying Twitch fired a guy who banned a bunch of VTubers wrongfully. W. So did not expect this to blow up. Here's my source. You got Zach as well commenting on that. People saying rare Twitch W. Sucks happened in the first place, and too so long actually punished this dude. It was the guy who set up the fraud system at Twitch. All those small corpo VTubers being given subs during debut got banned to that system, which yeah, obviously was one of the theories. There was a couple of theories that went around as to why they actually got you know, brought up for fraud. Obviously, some people were saying that Twitch just genuinely hated them and was trying to find a reason to do it. I feel like, you know, that wasn't the reason. I feel like there was other reasons towards that, including obviously, for example, the agencies actually taking money. If you don't know, some agencies obviously take the money from the Twitch accounts or from whatever social media accounts. It goes to the agency, and then the agency pays it out to the VTubers, right? Whenever they do. Now, obviously, we know some agencies don't pay it out, for example, like vshojo. Now, obviously, vshojo is slightly different because I think they do directly get their Twitch payouts, but for other payments, you know, it's kind of similar situation where essentially, yeah, an agency pays it out to each individual VTuber what they're owed, and they do it that way, meaning that every single Twitch account associated with it, for example, like FaZe Connect, right? All of their revenue is going into FaZe Connect and then coming out through FaZe Connect back to them. So some people are saying that maybe the fraud system detected it as everything's going to this one account on multiple of these accounts, so it's fraud, which again, that could make sense a little bit. So that possibly could be a reason. And there's also other reasons as well. People are saying it's fraud. For example, like VTuber debuts, obviously they're really, really big. And you know, often it's done on a new account, meaning that they set up a new account, they go live, they get a ton of subs, maybe due to the fact that they were like popular before on a previous kind of model or whatever. And then obviously after that, then they will get a ton of subs, and then it detects it as fraud because it's like, why is this new streamer getting all of these subs all of a sudden? They've got to be doing something pretty nefarious, right? And again, I can understand those two reasons, but again, they still haven't given a full reason as to why is this happening. And obviously, it's just not working because, you know, this gets flagged up all of the time, and it seems like the system just isn't good enough if they are constantly banning all of these VTubers for the wrong reasons. I think you should obviously get rid of the system until you find something that can actually beat fraud in general. And obviously, yeah, it seems like they've gotten rid of the guy who actually made the system in the first place. And as I said, I don't know whether this is due to the fact of his system failing so many times with VTubers. Obviously, people are celebrating it like a Twitch W here, but I don't know if this is actually a Twitch W or if he just happened to get laid off and now we, you know, obviously, you know, he's not going to be around anymore. I'm unsure because, again, Twitch still, as far as I know, uses the system, so that hasn't really changed. All that happened was the guy that originally created it has now left or has now been kicked out, which, again, people are saying it's a Twitch W, but I'm unsure on whether they did it for those reasons or if they just did it literally just because of the Amazon layoffs that have been going on recently. I think more so it's probably to do with the Amazon layoffs, especially considering he's been there for over 11 years, right? Obviously, as well, people have been talking about this, including this one pinned by Pippa, saying, at first I was like, oh man, you're just overacting. Even YouTube bans new accounts for suspicious activity several days after suspension. It says, what do you mean several years? Oh, so she does actually mean several years. Okay, I was unsure about that, but again, she does actually mean that they've been fighting it for several years, which is pretty terrible. It said, no, just recently a few FaZe Connects members got their account unbanned of being banned for fraud. I said, yeah, but it only took someone like 2 days, I'm guessing they mean, to remove being able to directly contact the Twitch CEO to join the FaZe to get them unbanned. So yeah, obviously a lot of people have been fighting it. Say PC was basically helpless until a well-networked talent, Cleo, worked to get everyone unbanned. It still took her, I think, approximately a month of back and forth until there was a result. Then what, a couple of weeks passed and this guy is fired, which obviously has been liked by Pippa here, obviously hearted here, which obviously we all know that, yeah, Cleo did actually mention the fact that, you know, they were working to get people unbanned and try to sort it out themselves, which obviously shouldn't be the case in the first place. The talent should not be the ones that are going to Twitch being like, hey, you guys got this wrong, can you unban them please? No, it should be Twitch that have been in the first place not banning these people, but B, obviously rectifying this issue straight away if someone goes, hey, you've incorrectly banned me here, instead of having to, use people with contacts to do it. Because obviously, yes, it worked out very much in favor of Face Connect at the moment because of Clio's contacts and things, which is great. Obviously they are able to do that. But imagine a lot of these smaller VTubers, smaller agencies, right, who maybe don't have those kind of contacts with Twitch. It can end up pretty bad. They can end up banned for years, and obviously, yeah, it can be a big struggle to kind of even get any of that communication going that maybe some of the Face Connect members have been lucky to get, right? People saying Twitch is never beating the "we hate you" VTubers allegations. Yeah, Twitch CEO AI doesn't care. Everyone who's seen the Emery TwitchCon incident and how they responded, apparently neither do you. The Twitch is swarmed with questionable staff, including their CEO. The normalized firing people for being bad at their jobs, which, yeah, 100% true there. But again, obviously, I just kind of want to share this with you guys, because obviously we've been talking about Twitch and how terrible they've been in regards to VTubers, at least over the past couple of months or so. And I'm glad to see that Pipkin Pippa has actually been discussing it and talking about it and actually calling out this kind of stuff, because it is a big issue, and it's something that, yeah, obviously is very respectful in the community and has been well accepted in the community at the moment. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date if there's anything else to do with this situation, as I thought it was pretty interesting. As I said, Tafu has now actually protected their posts, so again, we'll have to see what exactly goes on with that in the future. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.